We leave Red Deer, drive to Edmonton. Renee, longest drive of my life. I'm just numb. So we get to Edmonton. I rush into the hospital. They're telling us only one parent can be there due to COVID. They do the screening. They call who they need to call. And they're like, okay, she's going to be in the pediatric ICU. It's on this floor. Head up, go. So I rush to the ICU. And I remember the charge nurse coming out to greet me. It must have been like not even 15 minutes from when the charge nurse came out. She comes running out and tells me I need to follow her right away. And I'm thinking like, oh my God, okay, what's wrong? What's wrong? She's like, your daughter's not good. She's coding. She's saying this frantically, like, you need to come. So I'm rushing there. I'm rushing into there, and I just, sorry. I just know I would wish this on no parent. It's all the doctors surrounding her, and I looked up, Renee, at the screen like that they have in hospitals, and every line was flat. So she was gone. And they're performing all the CPR. They're doing everything. And I'm just yelling, my baby can't die. My baby can't die. My baby cannot die. And then by this point, I don't know which nurse, bless their heart, decided to get her dad to come up. So she coded, and then they get back a faint pulse. And I look up and I'm like, okay, like, she's back. They got a pulse. She codes again. And this time, it takes even longer, like, to even get... I don't even remember, Renee, in that moment, if I saw them get a pulse back, or if at this point, this was when they took us into another room. And I just remember the doctor. I remember her face. I can't remember her name, but I remember her face. And she said, we're taking her into the OR for an emergency heart surgery. We believe it's a battery. We have to get it out of there. That's what's killing. It's killing her. It's killing her. Her she's shutting down. I just never felt so helpless as a mother, and just got on my knees and just started praying for a miracle, because what I had seen was not good. She was going into a surgery already weak, and they took her into the surgery, and she had to have, and remember, this is an 18-month-old child, so you can imagine she's not that big. And when they opened her up for the open heart surgery, they placed her on ECMO. And ECMO, it's basically what I call, it's like life support. It does it works, it does the work for your heart and lungs so that they can rest. So they put her on ECMO, and when they opened her up, they saw that the battery had ruptured her esophagus, it had ruptured her trachea, it had ruptured her aorta, and it had ruptured her carotid left artery. Our daughter needed over 4 liters of blood transfused just in the OR. And now all we could do was wait. And I don't remember what time they came to grab us, but I just remember it was another nurse who came to get us, and he knocked on the door and was like, I'm going to take you guys to go see your daughter. And I was like, okay. We get there, and of course, again, COVID, they're telling us after such a surgery, only one parent can go in. And I was like, her father needs to be able to see her, even if for 20 minutes. And am I ever grateful he saw her first before I did? Because I was not prepared for what I saw. Miraculously, she'd be in ICU only for about 13 days. She needed more blood transfusions. We would find out she had a stroke. We would find out she had bleeding in her brain. So many things. No one told us when our daughter would actually even leave ICU. She left ICU fairly, like, I have one of my cousins calls her Wolverine, because from the beginning, the doctors kept preparing us. We essentially did not know what we would get back for our child. What cognitive delays, what would she have any disability? Like, we did not know. They just kept preparing us that she's here. We're taking things day by day. She's recovering well. And even the day when she was leaving ICU, and I remember they called me and they're like, oh, your daughter's being transferred to outpatient today. And I'm thinking, okay, great. So I remember running to the hospital, and the nurses are rolling her down in her, those cribs, those hospital cribs they have. And I just see her and I'm like, oh, like, it was just so surreal. And she was alert. You could tell she was in a lot of pain, but selfishly as her mom, I was like, I'm so happy. Like, okay, this is better than where you were like almost 2 weeks ago. And the first week in outpatient was hell because we didn't know she was going back to ICU because she had all these complications. We didn't know she had contracted pneumonia, if it was COVID. All of this, I said, without trying to make it all about, well, it is about her story, but we went through all of this because of a battery.